the first question to the three of you would be, what are the main issues that a foreign researcher deals with when they come to work to the Spanish research system? So there are probably many things that Spanish people are not aware about, of problems that you face when you come to work to our system. Who wants to start?
I can start. I mean, the first problem is, of course, the language barrier. So you're just entering with, when you accepted to work here, it starts in my case, because I'm in non-European region. So I have to apply for visa and everything. It starts there because the page is in Spanish. So you have to translate and understand everything. And you have to prepare all the document in Spanish. And I mean, even it's widely spoken in the scientific community in English, but everything is in Spanish. The documents, everything.
Okay.
And,
this is something that I guess in Spain is very much given for granted, right? Like everything is really in Spanish, and sometimes we're not aware of it even.
I mean, even if they put on the website the English option, when you click it, you can't see the all option in English. So you have to check again in Spanish.
Yeah, so it seems like the intention is there. There is an option to click, but then there is no content. I think there are several aspects for this language barrier, right? Like, because on the one hand, when you apply for a visa, for example, this is something that people need to do also when they're not working on research. So there is the administrative part, let's say. But there is also a part related specifically to research, no, and how things are dealt with inside the institute, let's say, no. Do you see a better? I don't know. There is some kind of noise. Please, I will try to mute everyone. But yeah, do you see better? Like better chances inside the institute when it comes to English language, or do you still find many barriers?
I mean, for the administration document, the old document was in mostly Spanish. So I want to thanks to our perfect project manager. She was translate some of them in English. So I know which document I signed. But the rest of them, it was Spanish. So I have to ask her, I mean, what is it? Or in the last parts, because there is many things to sign, I was like, just sign it without.
You just trust.
Signing random papers.
Yeah, without notes, because I mean, it's a long paper and I can't ask to translate all of them to me.
Okay, I don't know, I can maybe forward this question also to Thorben. I forgot to mention this. No, in this case, we contacted 3 people with quite different profiles, not only from the working perspective, but also speaking about their country of origin, right? Gülsüm is from Turkey. I think I mentioned this, but Lina is coming from Colombia. From from a Spanish speaking country, but from a non-European country nevertheless, no, which has some other problems that we will also tackle later. Thorben is coming from Germany, so he's a European citizen. But I think, Thorben, when in your case, when you came to Spain, you were already maybe able to speak Spanish, or did you have any trouble with this?
Hello, good morning to everybody. In my case, I think it was not different, but because I came to Spain for an Erasmus year, so I used Spanish like for normal small talks and conversations, but the university environment is different. I I think in the year of my Erasmus year, it was when I most learned Spanish in my life, because yeah, it's really different. And actually, because I'm from humanities, I study social science, so I think in my experience, there's a huge difference between like the hard sciences and humanities in the use of English. Because I worked at the University Carlos III bioengineering department, and everybody there were like speaking in their daily life and or could speak English. But when I was at the Complutense University, it was mostly in Spanish.
Spanish.
So that's one thing. And yeah, I think this was also kind for me, because nowadays I'm working as a project manager. And coming also back to your first question about the main issues, for me it was, I think in every country, in every university, it's difficult to know, to get to know like your professors, your supervisors for applying for PhDs. And really, if you are looking into funded PhDs, contracts with the PhDs, and for foreign people, I think it's even difficulter. So that's more difficult. So that's the reason actually I changed my career, because I was thinking about making maybe a PhD in Spain, but that yeah, I haven't had the contacts in the university, I think, to apply for it. So that's the reason I started to work and look into project management and things like that. Yeah.
Good. Lina, what about you? Speaking about main issues that foreign researchers are dealing with.
Yes, I think I have 3 main issues: is the timing, the money, and the bureaucracy. I think that sums everything. And because if you have thought about your research career, you have to consider if you want to come here with a student visa or with a working visa. Those 2 things are completely different, and you have to manage in a different way. So, for example, if you come here with in order to do your PhD with a scholarship, you have to consider your timing. So your timing is, like Thorben said, you have to consider talking to the professor you are going to work with. And also if you're going to apply with a scholarship from your country or from here. And all the documents, all the time consuming, and then you can apply to the visa. Also, you have to buy a health insurance. It's not the same if you bought in your country for here, or you can bought it here. The difference is the cost. So you have to pay a lot if you have to buy it from your country. And another problem with the money is because you came here and you have to open a bank account, and many times it's very difficult because you arrive here, you have your passport, but not all the banks accept that passport in order to open an account. And you have to manage for several times your money in cash, and that's is something difficult because we are not used to manage cash in this society. So, and then maybe I think I don't know if I can say names as banks,
names of people
like Santander, like Open Bank, like
specific banks.
Yes, you can open those accounts with your passport, but they give you a short amount of time in order you can submit your new document from Spain.
Okay, let's go back a bit to this topic, because maybe to the people who Spanish people, we don't need to make all these arrangements, let's say. So maybe it sounds to us a little bit unknown, let's say, no. So I guess you talked about two situations. One where you get a contract directly from Spain, right? This is a possibility. And there, I guess you don't need to worry, for example, about the health insurance, because it comes directly with the contract, right? The other situation, which I guess it is more difficult, is when you get a fellowship from your own country, and then you come, and then you need to get your own insurance, which is expensive, I guess, no? Health insurance. Okay. What you said about opening a bank account, this is related maybe to getting your visa, or it's related to getting your paperwork to residence permit?
For example, when you are coming here for your first time, you don't need to have an account from Spain, and that's okay. But as soon as you get here, and you sign your contract, they ask for a bank account.
Okay, when you sign a Spanish contract, you need a Spanish
because they
bank
have
account.
to pay you.
Sure,
if
okay.
you are signing a contract from a Spanish consul or something, you have to have a Spanish bank account or an international bank account. I guess so. So that's the main issue, because before you have to sign your contract, you have to open that bank account, and that can be sometimes very difficult to do.
So it's a bit like a cycle, right? Like you
Yes.
cannot get your contract because you don't have a bank account. You cannot have your bank account because you don't have a contract, and then you're in this loop.
I think that is the big problem of the bureaucracy in this country.
It's probably not the only.
Even if you don't have a contract with scientific community, with ICMM or CSIC, whatever, for the residency permit also you need a bank account. They are asking for it.
Now they are asking for it.
Yeah.
So Gülsüm, about this bank account for the residence permit. So I think in different countries you need to have also a specific amount of money in this bank account. Or is this the case also in Spain? Or
if you can show, I mean, you will get a regular payment. You don't have to show enough money on the bank. For the visa, the first came, yes, you have to show. I mean, yes, I'm going there and I have money, so I will take care of myself. So you have to show in your account. But when you arrive here, when you applied for the residency permit, they are asking just for the bank account, and you should show them, improve, you will get a regular payment.
Okay. So we have to extra Europeans. How is this for Europeans, Thorben? Like, do we have a real freedom to travel between countries, to work in different countries?
I thought it would be like so, but in my experience, it wasn't actually, because well, it's not so difficult for European citizens to come to Spain and look for work than if you're a non-European. That's for sure. But there are also some issues that I wasn't aware of when I first looked into it, because for example, for most contracts, you have to register here as a European citizen, and
what do you need to register? You mean in the town hall, so sort of padrón, or?
No, it's I think it's from the Interior Ministry, actually the police. And
the police.
Yeah. And then you can get the foreign identification number, That's mostly needed for opening a bank account, for signing a contract, but because I think it's normally only allowed to be here in Spain for European citizens for at most 3 months. After that, you have to provide or show that you have social insurance, health insurances, and also enough money in your account. It's not necessary to have all these numbers if you have a working contract here. So, but the thing is, to get a working contract, you need the identification number. To get the identification number, you need actually a working contract or health insurance and enough money in your bank account. So it's really fast to get stuck in a loop. It's really easy to, to get just and kind of difficult to get out of it. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, then let's say that you, because I was actually in the opposite situation, no? Like I spent 4 years in Germany, and so let's say you're coming from another country to Spain, and you're looking for a job, right? This might be the case. So this was also my case in Germany for some time. And you have this 3 months gap where you can stay there and you don't need to justify that you're looking for a job. This is understood, and you're still covered by your own health insurance, by this European health insurance, Tarjeta Sanitaria Europea. But after this, what happens? Like, let's say, do you know specifically if you don't have like regular income and you're still looking for a job, how much money you need to say you have in your bank account?
Well, in my case, I can't remember because the thing was different, because I came here during the Erasmus, and for the whole time of the Erasmus, you're still covered by your health insurance. So after I finished my Erasmus, I started to actually I finished later my master degree here, and I don't know if there was actually any problems with that I spent more time here than I was allowed to. I think maybe if my health insurance would known that they
this conversation is being recorded, just for the record.
But yeah, after that I started to looking into a job, and the first when I get to know all this procedure with the NIE, it was, you need a health insurance.
Okay, so, someone is Thomas is saying it's around 6,000 euros for European citizens. Okay,
I think if you're a student, if you're going to renew the NIE, you have to, for a month, you have to be like 520, I think, per month. And you have to show a whole year of savings.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Going to a different topic. How is this with the, I mean, since many of you know come for a PhD, and then you need to sign in a Spanish university for a PhD program and so on. How is it with the recognition of the Spanish, non-Spanish degrees, let's say, no? And actually this has, let's say, two different aspects, no? How is it regarding signing in for a PhD? And how is this regarding getting a Spanish contract? Now, I think in the administration, which is the main issue, that, for example, when you go to the FECyT, to the Bolsa de Trabajo, you need to show you have a bachelor or a master's degree. How is this recognition? Who wants to start?
You need to the equivalency, and you are applying for the ministry, and you are getting your degree to combine with Spanish education system. So they are checking to your degree meets with their standard.
Okay.
But it's a long process.
Sorry, Gülsüm. In your case, you have a contract from the FECyT, or you have a fellowship?
No, that's why I didn't do the equivalency.
Okay. So you have your own grant.
Yes.
From your country. Okay.
Yes.
So in this sense, for you, it's easier because you just, I mean, if you bring your own money, no one's asking.
It's not easier,
not
but
easy?
it's
Okay.
just no.
Okay.
It's harder than I guess.
Okay.
I
okay.
would
But
prefer the work contract here.
No, I mean, in this aspect in particular, no, because you
in
have
this
your own
aspect,
funding.
because they don't care because you are coming with your own money and you are working, so they don't care. Yeah.
But in your case, you did sign in at the Spanish university for your PhD, or?
No. I just showed them my curriculum and all the detail about my bachelor in English, and they said it's fine.
Okay. You're gonna be a doctor from the Autónoma, or?
Yes.
Okay,
but the thing is, if I return to my country, I have to do the equivalence again.
All right, I see. It's all complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know, Lina or Thorben.
I think my point of view is different because, for example, Colombia and many Latin American countries have an agreement with Spain, right? So when you came here, you have to get an apostilla. I don't know how to pronounce apostilla in English. And then you start to make the homologation or the equivalence of that diploma. But long time ago, when I was doing that procedure, it was really difficult. And then appears the equivalence. So you have to be very selective, or whether you perform the homologation or you make the equivalence, because it's not the same, and it's not apply. It doesn't apply for because if you are a doctor, you have to do something different than if you're a physicist. So you have to read. I attached you the link to the minister.
It's
so you
in the chat, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's only in Spanish. I didn't find in English. So if you need translator, you can use a Google Translator, because I don't know if that web page is in English or not. And for example, I have many issues because I have my homologation done in 2013 by the minister, and I thought it was all okay. But as soon as the FECyT tried to make me a contract as a undergraduate,
this was with the
student,
FFA.
Yes. They started to say to me, no, this homologation is not good. We don't accept this. And I was, what?
Why not?
I have, because FECyT considered that homologation coming from the education ministry was not sufficient enough for my contract. I still, many years later, we don't know why, because even the ministry give me a letter in present to the FECyT, and unfortunately, the only way, or good for me also, the only way to make contracts was through using my PhD diploma. So they have to finally make my contract as a doctor. Good for me because I get more money, but bad for all purposes. So we have to be really careful in order to make, I don't know why, but it's really important to make the right choice.
I thought that as my degrees are from Germany, I thought with the whole Bologna process that it would be much easier, but they are not automatically recognized in Spain. So I had also to apply for the, in my case, the equivalency. And I started the application 2.5 years ago. And I'm still waiting for it. 2 months ago or something like that, I got a notification because I made the process, the application process all online. And 2 months ago, they told me, hey, you have to present the documents in person. The first notification I had after 2 years. So it's a really long process. And I think it's different between the private and the public sector, actually. In the private sector, I didn't need the equivalency or something like that. And there's also, I don't know for you, Lina or Gülsüm, if you knew that or if you use that, there's a process to just transform the grades
yes.
from your degree. So when I applied for scholarships here in Spain, when I worked at the CIS and at the Complutense University, it was just scholarships. So I didn't need the equivalency of my bachelor degree, of my degrees, and just with the official transformation of the grades, it was enough. So it was okay. Hey, at least something. But it really depends. Sometimes it's just hoping that it will pass. And mostly in my case, I think nowadays, if you just can present a certification that you started the process of equivalency or not, it's just enough. That at a moment of contaction, I don't know. In my case, it wasn't necessary. I just had it to prove that I started the process.
Yes, I think for me it was the same. Only when the document that proves that you start the process of homologation, it was enough in order to start the contract. My problem was after I get the homologation paper. So they did all the contracts before I got the homologation with that piece of paper. It was a pink piece of paper that the minister gave to you, and you upload it and everything was fine. The problem was when that paper was off. So I have my homologation, the current, the one on paper. So that was really difficult. And what you said about the degrees, the grades, the grades, that is really difficult because here in Spain, they use 1 to 4, I think, or 1 to 10, depends. And it's really, really different from the other countries when you transfer your grades.
Okay, sorry, there were some technical problems. I don't know, you can hear me now, I guess, sure. I have the feeling that the network in the whole institute fell, and probably I was not, I don't know, Gülsüm still there? Like
yeah, I mean, there was no internet, but now it looks okay.
all right. I had to change position, and now I also changed my name. Agustina Senjo.
Lina and I just kept talking.
Okay. Thorben, sorry, I missed all the explanation about how the homologation and equivalence works for European citizens. Actually, EduRome seems to have failed. Okay. At the campus. Great. That's great. Actually, I was going to ask you, all of this homologations or equivalence that you need to do, how does this, what is the sense of this? After there was this
so-called Bologna process. So we're like, let's say 10 years ago, I'm not exactly sure when it started, but it was supposed to be a system where all the European countries would be more flexible to, recognize degrees from one country to the other. And even after this was implemented, then maybe it didn't change so much, or what do you think?
Yeah, I thought the same as I told before when you went away, that it would be easier, but it's actually at the site of the European, at the webpage of the European Commission, it's stated there that the Bologna process doesn't imply the automatic recognition of the degrees in the EU countries. So you have, I thought at least it would be maybe easier or faster to the process for the equivalency.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm still waiting in my case to have it done.
Okay, just to mention something from my own experience. I mean, I as I said, I worked 4 years in Germany with different contracts. One was in a company, so I didn't really have to do anything. The other one was with a German fellowship. That is another issue. Fellowships still working in Germany, where you don't have a health insurance and pension rights and all of these things. But at least from this perspective, I could just send out my doctor title, and they wouldn't even care. It was in Spanish, and they just accepted it. I think it was different though for other countries, where they speak smaller, more minority languages, maybe. And also when I also got a contract directly from the university, and I just had to send out my, let's say, my titles, degree, master's, and PhD. But I never even had to translate them. So it was just sending them to the administration, same way you do here in Spain. And I got directly a contract without any other bureaucratic steps, let's say. So this is maybe how it should be to make our lives easier in general.
Yeah, I told that before. Here's from, I don't know if it's from the FECyT or from the Ministry of Universities, this official form to transform your grades into the Spanish system. And sometimes, in my case, I just, because I haven't had the equivalence of my degree, I just send it with my German degree, and sometimes it passed. So because it's like an official form that transform your grades, and then you can see it, okay? But it's really just keeping finger crossed sometimes if it passes, or if they require the official equivalency of the degree.
Okay, sorry, I don't know if you said this before, but for those of you who did the equivalence or homologation, what is the time you need for this? How long do you need to wait?
I wait 3 years.
2 years. Okay. And Thorben, in your case, you
I'm waiting since, yeah, I'm still waiting, and it's taking more than 2.5 years now.
Okay, I see. I mentioned pension rights in a different context, but I like to come back to this topic, and maybe ask Lina to give us some insight into this, because I remember when I started my PhD, there was some piece of news coming where they said that FECyT was not paying pension rights to some foreign people. I don't know if you can maybe give us a little bit more accurate explanation, because I don't really know the whole story.
Yeah, the real issue was that they stopped contributing the unemployment insurance for all the foreign people that was in the FECyT. So it's not the same as the pension because it really is a small amount of our payment, but because we contribute with a small amount, and the FECyT puts the rest, right? And we didn't notice for several months until somebody realized that that was happening. And of course, they sent emails and they let us know that that wasn't legal. So we start to contact to the administration, the FECyT administration, on all the people was asking why. And I remember the only answer that they give us is, oh, because many of you go away to your countries, go back to your countries.
You won't need pension.
So you are not going to, you don't have to use it. So it's a waste of money. And I remember and my thought is, okay, so you are letting us know that we have to go as soon as we finish whatever we are doing here. So that's not reasonable. That wasn't legal. And after a few months, everything was back to normal.
Okay. Do you know how long this was happening?
I think it was about 6 months.
6 months. And this was something only happening in FECyT, or it was also done?
I asked, we contact with the university students. That was maybe because we are all from the same scholarship, with the FECyT scholarship, and we were asking everybody. And in the universities around Spain, that case didn't happen. Only happened with the foreigners in the FECyT.
Okay, I see. A question about this is, currently, when you see, because you have been working long in Spain, is this period recognized as, for your pension rights, or this 6 months where you said the FECyT was not paying the
with the pension, because it's different. They pay for the social security fees without a problem, because if not, it was a huge problem. But after, I don't know if that is retroactive. I don't know the unemployment insurance, how it's going to get. The only thing I know is they didn't pay us 6 months. And luckily for me, I didn't have to ask for this insurance. So I don't know how affect to me.
Okay, then maybe I got it wrong. So you were also excluded from unemployment, or?
No, because when you get your payment, so, a part of that payment goes to the social security. Okay. And a small amount goes to the unemployment insurance, to the paro.
Yeah, okay.
But those fees are different.
Yeah.
So what they weren't paid was that unemployment insurance.
All right. I get it. Okay. So there is a question in the chat, and sorry, I forgot to say at the beginning that of course this is an open discussion. So please, well, there are many comments actually, but yeah, I mean, feel free to ask any questions to any of our participants. Angela is asking, what would you like to have in order to feel in a way that the system is more inclusive with foreign researchers? This is a pretty open question. Well, no answers to this.
I think there's some big noise.
Is someone else talking? I don't know.
Yeah, let me check. I don't have admin rights now, so I cannot I cannot mute anybody, but like please, if you are a participant, mute yourself. Maybe I can mute.
I think
I'm very sure Maria Alonso, she's not muted. Who has admin rights now?
But coming back to the question, I think in my case, as we have also seen in the link that sent Lina, that at least that there are a lot of information about the academic system, about the procedures, but most of them are about the bureaucratic procedures, but most of them are in Spanish, and there's not much information, official information about the procedures in English available. So you need much help and more effort to understand the procedures, that they are already really complicated sometimes, but more complicated even if you are not so good in Spanish.
Yeah, I think before you said no, that in your case you were able to speak like, or maybe do some small talk in Spanish when you first arrived, but of course this is not the same as when you need to do some serious, let's say you need to maybe read the BOE, and this is already complicated for Spanish people, you know. So I imagine that all of this administrative language, when it's not in a language that you somehow master, this is really making things very hard. Or
I think in order to easier all the procedures, it will be nice to break those cycles, you know. It make more flat, so you have to do it like a list instead of making rounds and rounds of infinite things that you don't get 3 years later.
Okay, so also shortening the waiting times.
Because
yeah, and many documents.
Yes, because I feel when you are going to do something like ask for the NIE or the TIE, you almost become a lawyer, because you have to interpret it. You have to be sure that you get the laws agree with you, and nevertheless, you have to consider yourself like, okay, I'm doing this right or not. Maybe I have to hire a lawyer with the foreign expertise to do it for me.
Gülsüm, how are you dealing with all of these things? Since you,
I mean, I can't.
Are you learning Spanish now, or?
Yeah, but it's so basic. I mean, I can't handle all of this. No, I can't do it. I mean, I can't communicate that much. I'm using so basic words. So when I'm using that basic words in Spanish, they thought I know good Spanish. I don't understand how they are thinking that. And they are keep going talking in Spanish. So I don't prefer that. That's why I'm preferring to say no habla español.
Okay.
But that is also, again, the issue. I mean, even the foreigner office, once I went there and they said they don't understand English. So I have to find someone can speak Spanish. But it's a foreigner office. I mean, it's supposed to be someone talking English, right? I'm not Spanish.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Yeah. So that's the problem.
That's awful.
And in the system, in the ICMM, also the most of the seminar, the conferences, the things, it's held in Spanish. So I can't attend. And they are sending every email in Spanish, so I have to translate.
Yeah. I think something good maybe in this regard would be to just translate, like just send all the emails, make them bilingual. So like send the same email in Spanish, and then you can see the English translation below. That's how it is actually done in international places, let's say,
Yeah, and for the staying here, every year I have to prepare documents. So the half of the year I'm just preparing documents.
This is something I wanted to actually ask you, like because we all know that academia is like a very competitive.
Yeah, but in case I have to do my work, and in the same time I have to do the paperwork. So I'm using my energy also do that paperwork. So if they can do a less paperwork, please, we are doing a science.
No, this is actually a huge disadvantage, in a field where people are working overtime and even using their free time to do experiments or research in general. If you additionally need to do paperwork, and I mean, this is not only consuming time but also energy. I guess this puts you like in a very unfair position within this competition, let's say, so that's also extremely unfair. I wanted to ask the three of you in general, like if you have felt that you are also in unfair positions, let's say within research, in other situations that we haven't yet mentioned, not only paperwork, and we have spoken about all this pension and unemployment rights, and is there any other situation that you can come up with that maybe for us is not so obvious?
I think, I mean, in my case, because I have my own grant, so, but I'm working here at ICMM. So in the project, there is my name. I'm working in the project, but I don't have any contract because I have my own grant from my country. So because of that, even until this time, I didn't have the email address of the CSIC. So that is also another issue, because I mean, you are using the intranet and having many issue, but I can't do it. So every time I have to ask to one of my colleagues to do it on behalf of me, because I don't have any access. But I mean, we are fighting for that. So thank you, Carmen Munera, if you are still here. Now I have. I mean, the thing is, they are scaring to change the things, but it can't be that much hard. So the easiest way to put me as a visitors in the system of ICMM, but actually I'm not a visitors. I'm working here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, I mean, I think another issue, because I don't have a work contract, I can't apply for the work permit. So I'm just staying as a student, and every year I have to show the police like I'm continue to study, and they are giving the residency permit for 6 months, and I'm stuck in Spain. I can't go to my country. I can't leave the Spain because I don't have residency permit until they gave it to me. So in that case, I think they also should do some work contract with people like me, because we are also working here. We are not visitors. Every day I'm here. All the time I'm here. And I'm doing some work for the ICMM also.
I have a question for you, Gülsüm.
Yeah.
Maybe you can apply to a non-profit residency, because you are, although you work here, I understand the correct thing could be that ICMM make you a contract, right? But because you don't have it, but you have your own resources, maybe you can have that, that is a legal term, that is a non-profit residency. So you are allowed to do whatever you want, and you're not anymore a student, right?
No, I mean, but in the system, I'm just coming here with my own grant and doing a PhD. But actually the situation is different, because I mean the ICMM can't give the title. So that's why we are connected with Autonoma to get the title. But actually we are working here. But we don't have any documentation here. Just we had a permit to stay in ICMM, but that permit also for the visitors. So I think they should do another things, because I'm not a visitor.
Yeah. Actually, maybe this is also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe it's like a rather new thing, because maybe, I mean, Spain, let's say how do you say this? Internationalization of the institutes in general is not that big. So the fact that people are coming with their own funding from their own countries, well, actually, I'm saying this, and I just remember that Lina, at some point, I mean, there used to be already many years ago, people from South American countries coming with their own fellowships. Yeah, this is not a new thing. Sorry, I just realized. I'm not very sure whether these people were also in this situation. I don't know if
Yes, Alejandro. My husband was with a scholarship from Colombia. So he was always like a student there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. So this is not a new thing then. So it's high time to find solutions.
Yeah, you are applying for residency permit as a student, because you can just get that documents correctly.
Okay.
So I mean, you don't have any other chance.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to mention another kind of problem, which is, for example, I realized by reading the BOE, when there are permanent positions announced, like foreign researchers without a residence permit are not allowed to apply for permanent positions, right? And this is a huge problem, because it excludes many people, right? And even people who are at some point very well connected to Spain. For example, let's say if Lina, for example, who has been working many years in Spain, let's say, and if you at some point decide to leave the country for a few months or a couple of years, at this time, well, in your case, I think you got maybe already the citizenship. I'm not sure, but in similar cases, this kind of people would be excluded, for example. So, I mean, to me, it's just the feeling that the Spanish research system is very narrow-minded, in the sense that you have to fulfill a very specific profile. So you need to be, would be better if you're Spanish, and then you need to do a postdoc abroad for a few years and then come back. And it's fitting very well to the people who fulfill this, but to any other possibilities, then yeah, this is it's not a system which is, accepting other alternatives, let's say. So this is my feeling. I don't know how you guys see.
In my case, what are you saying is I finished my PhD in 2016.
Yeah.
And I was many years working here, but first as a student and then as a highly qualified researcher. And I applied to the nationality, to the Spanish nationality, and also to the longer residency document, something like that. And as soon as I finished my PhD, my plans was to obtain a postdoc, because as all know, is another thing to check.
Yeah.
So I was applying to different postdocs, but a lawyer friend of mine told me that if I move out and stay longer than 3 months outside Spain, I will lose all that time that actually was counting in order to give me the nationality and the residency. So I have to postpone everything. And all the scholarship that I was applying in that case, everything was penalty, how to say, they say no because I was not abroad. But I cannot be abroad because I was losing all the time
your
living
rights
here. So I was done with the bureaucracy of Spain, and I said, okay, I'm staying and I work here. And as soon as I got the nationality, now I can do anything.
Lina, what is the time you needed in your case to get the nationality? How many years in Spain?
Now, I know the things now. I think you have to work for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you can apply to the nationality. But when I was doing all the papers, it was 5 years.
Yeah, okay.
And it's different for people from Latin America or than from other countries, I think. It's easier.
It's different because the country. Depends on the country, not only the Latin America itself, but the country.
A specific agreement maybe between Spanish government and any other
now
country.
It's easier, I think, but many years ago it was really difficult.
Things are getting better at least.
Seems so.
Okay, from my side, I have no more questions. We've been talking for a little bit more than 1 hour. I see there's 10 participants now, so I don't know if someone wants to ask any question. Now's the right time. I'm gonna give a couple of minutes to see if someone wants to make like a final comment or question. There weren't many questions, but some people have been writing actively on the chat, let's say. So that's also a good thing. Angela saying it has been very, very interesting. Thank you. And well, I think maybe we can wrap it up now. And yeah, I wanted to thank you, the three of you,